Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome to the Prem this week, a show where I bring to you the very best that the Prem had to offer this week. And from a shocking 5-0 defeat to some pretty big name transfers coming into the league, we've got a lot of stuff to get into, so let's get into it. And I know there's one game that you specifically clicked on this video for, and I'm gonna go over it first. Don't worry, I'm not gonna edge you till the end. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. What the hell happened here? Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth are the two clubs this season that seem to be punching above their weight when it comes to challenging in the league this season, especially Nottingham Forest. Well, that was until this happened. A 5-0 defeat is honestly terrible stuff, especially for a team that is third in the Premier League and currently after this loss, still third. And an outstanding player for Bournemouth was Dango Ouattara. In fact, most of Bournemouth's team has come as a complete revelation underneath Andoni Iraola. This is a great team full of great football players, but not a team that should be winning 5-0, even if it is at home. It's not like the Vitality Stadium is a necessarily terrifying ground to visit. In fact, it was considered one of the worst stadiums in the Prem. It was considered one of the worst stadiums in the Premier League, so only time will tell if this is the beginning of the end for Nottingham Forest. And when I say the end, I mean a very respectable 7-ish place finish, but far off from what many people are seeing as a possible Champions League qualification, because I seriously doubt that that team will have the drive to finish in the top three, even though I really hope to be proven wrong by the end of the season. And without mentioning the immense quality within that squad. And Moyes isn't faring too badly either, securing a comfortable 1-0 win over Brighton. Pretty standard Everton win, not an amazing amount of goals or anything, but it's nothing to scoff at considering the place that Everton were in before Moyes came in. In fact, I thought sacking Dyche was quite a stupid idea, but as a West Ham fan, I know how good Moyes can be, despite him not being the best at the end of last season slash all of last season. He's still a good manager, so he should do a pretty good job at Everton. And now for Arsenal versus Wolves, Arsenal securing a 1-0 win against the relegation battling club. It was a controversial game, but not without Kai Havertz's usual shenanigans of missing point-blank chances that even my grandmother could score. This really proves that Arsenal are in desperate need of a new striker. They need to bring one in. But aside from that, Miles Lewis Skelly got sent off by a straight red for serious foul play for seemingly tapping Matt Doherty's dainty little feet. But you know what they say about Skelly? He has superb lower body composition, so there's no denying that this was a straight red. I mean, he seriously could have broken Matt Doherty's pinky toe. Very, very dangerous foul. In all seriousness, this season, Arsenal have had terrible luck with red cards, and the theme seems to be continuing into this game. But not to worry, Wolves also got their number 8 Gomez sent off for a much more dangerous foul by stepping on the foot of Gabriel. It's honestly stupid, and then they proceeded to lose 1-0 anyway, despite having that advantage in the early game, after a Ricardo Calafiori banger. And despite me thinking he'd be a flop for the Gunners, he's actually not been too bad. He's not been the outstanding player that he was tipped to be, but I still think he'll be a solid player for the Gunners for the next few years. And on the south coast of England, at St Mary's, Southampton continue their torrid form after losing a 1-0 lead and then losing 3-1 to Newcastle with an Alexander Isak penalty. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Actually, the only thing out of the ordinary for this game is Southampton actually scoring a goal. And it's pretty sad to see Southampton's season continue in this trajectory, but it's nothing that we didn't expect. And in other news, Man City have clawed their way back up to 4th place after a 3-1 win against Chelsea, but not without stupid mistake from Uzbekistani wonderkid Kusanov giving away a very easy ball that Nicholas Jackson set up for Noni Madueke. That wasn't the only stupid mistake though, as Robert Sanchez came out to face Haaland and pretty much got chipped from either outside the box or pretty close to that. Weak goal to concede. All in all though, I think it's a sign of things to come, and Man City are probably going to finish inside the top four now, especially with the new reinforcement coming in. Especially with the new reinforcements coming in, but we'll just have to see. And this is just a reminder to like and sub because this will be all the Prem coverage you'll need to the end of the season, and news coverage if you check out my other series this week in the news. And Ipswich have secured another thrashing, losing 4-1 to Arne Slot's Liverpool, who are making a title push, and Ipswich seemingly continuing that theme of newly promoted teams having quality within their squads, but not enough to stay up in the Prem. It's honestly getting sad to watch all these newly promoted teams that look exciting and then just don't stand a chance in actuality when they're playing against big teams. I mean, conceding 10 goals in 2 games is very hard to do, yet Ipswich have still managed to do it, and it's just getting really hard to watch more than anything. But in some better news for newly promoted teams, Leicester have secured a 2-1 win against Tottenham, a team that seemingly is entering into a relegation battle because it's a side riddled with injuries. Leicester securing the win with goals from Jamie Vardy and El Kanous, and a surprise goal from Richarlison for Spurs, but it wasn't enough and they ended up losing. And this is starting to get really worrying for Spurs. I mean, this might be like their worst season in a very long time. Like, to think that before the 2020s, these guys were doing generational Champions League runs, and now they could be on track to doing a generational championship run. I don't see how Ange Postecoglou survives a sack, even though it is at the base of it an injury crisis problem. You can't be losing 2-1 to Leicester, especially at home. And for what I would consider my most boring match of the week, Brentford secured a boring 2-1 win against Crystal Palace, which consisted of a pen. Brian Mbeumo missed his earlier pen, but redeemed himself by scoring that one. And then Kevin Schade securing the win at the 80th minute, with Roman Esse doing damage control at the 85th minute. West Ham have also secured a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, which is quite big considering Aston Villa are a very good team, especially away from home. And West Ham were actually looking pretty good in the second half, especially after Palmieri's goal. And West Ham seemed to have scored a very late goal, but it was disallowed because Souček was offside. And transfer wise, Daniel Malin, who you might know from your Ultimate Team, has joined Aston Villa from Borussia Dortmund. There have been other transfers, but this is my standout one for this week. And in the last game of the week, Man United secured a 1-0 win against Fulham. Again, another pretty uneventful match, but a pretty exciting late minute winner from Lisandro Martinez, of all people. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first episode of the Prem this week. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and a comment of other stuff you want to see, and also do excuse the terrible FIFA gameplay. I'm so bad at this game. Anyway, see ya.